Alrighty, folks, you're live with Down to the Beat, a very, very exclusive interview coming right now with your host for the most, John and
Lifika, a.k.a. Chow Stacks, a.k.a. Chow Honey, a.k.a. Feek Day, a.k.a. Feek Daddy. What's good? What's good? Down to the Beat, here with an exclusive interview today.
And we're here with the very talented, I want to say icon? Like, local of Ottawa music.
Dog, the local, bro.
The man, City Fidelia. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Give it up, folks.
hey,
Give it out. Give
hey,
it out. Give it out.
Thank you for having us, man. Thank you so
very
much.
You know,
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I wish I had as much as nicknames.
He made them all up himself, so just don't worry about that too much.
But I've been good, man. Just creating during these times. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy times, man.
Crazy times for real. But,
How are you keeping yourself busy?
Yeah, just making music. I just added video games to that. And just just paying attention to the world and seeing where what direction this world is going to go to. You know what I mean? And get ready for that.
And where do you think it's going so far? What have you deduced?
Leader of Ottawa, Mr. Mayor.
I definitely think that people are going to be more comfortable doing things virtually. So.
Man, I think that's so weird, bro.
Yeah,
well,
it
just
is.
like
It is.
This is a Zoom interview. Like we're doing. This is over FaceTime. We're 6 feet apart, motherfucker. Groups of less than 5.
That's what's happening
So
right,
you guys
right
know
now.
there's only 4 of us in this.
Yeah, 4, man. We're within the guidelines. We're within the guidelines.
Just snitched on
Fucking
us.
just saw a mom get arrested for taking her daughter to the playground, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's tough times.
I heard about
bro.
that.
Tough
It's
times.
so nuts. What else are you supposed to do with your kids?
Dog,
You know what I'm saying? No park. Like what?
Put gloves on them.
and a mask.
So even like skate parks are filled in. There's a playground next to our place. It's like the one there on
Yeah, the one we went to.
Yeah, and it was immature shit.
Yeah.
We didn't go to it recently, so don't arrest us. I swear. It's got like yellow tape around it and stuff. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
Crazy,
like they're
man. You're
trying
not
to
allowed
keep
to do
people
shit.
the fuck out of anywhere.
Damn, man. I do think though, like, if we still got like live by these regulations by June, I think people are gonna be like,
People
I
are
don't give a
just going
fuck, man.
crazy.
If I get
100%,
COVID,
man.
I get COVID.
Yeah,
I can get
dude.
COVID and a fine. I don't even give a
Yeah,
shit.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. YOLO. YOLO, man. That's what people are gonna be saying. YOLO.
That's what it is right now. I got a buddy in Germany, and that's where the cases are high right now. And he was
'Cause
just saying
people don't
people
care.
don't give a fuck anymore. Man.
Yeah, so I got buddies overseas, and they're just like, yeah, like when I got back, like he was here, and he's like, it was kind of shitty at first, but now everyone's kind of just like,
Yeah.
hospital
man.
beds freed up, some room in the nursing homes, we're good to go.
It's crazy. I think they just should do like a hard like lockdown
Yeah.
for like 2-3 weeks.
Come out of your house, you
And
get shot
then-
type of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot on sight.
What? Fucking
Well,
door.
come on. But and then like let the thing stop for a little bit and then
Let it work itself out kind
yeah,
of deal.
exactly. But I think the baby steps is what's making people go crazy because it's like, okay, I got this available to do, but like not too much.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's better to just I don't know.
clamp her down.
Clamp her down for a
Shut
bit.
the
Shut
grocery
everything.
stores, and then you'll see people fucking stay inside.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
But in a
everyone's
way-
supposed to stay inside, and you go to a Walmart, and it's just full of people. You're like, what the? What? Like,
it's crazy.
stay inside. Alrighty, let's get into this. We're
Yes,
gonna kick it off with just going over your albums that are available to us on Apple Music.
Yes, yes.
So,
Spotify.
All the major
SoundCloud.
ones. We do this. We start off most of our interviews like this. So we're gonna focus mainly on Painkiller, your newest
Okay.
one.
Yes,
and then,
yes.
But we can't not touch on Pisces World and Freedom.
Yes, yes.
So let's go back to 2015, A Pisces World. Can you explain the
Okay.
title, where you were for it, like where in your head were you, like what were you creating at that point in your life?
Okay, you guys got the dates and everything
Oh,
down.
2015.
All
That was
right,
a long time
all
ago,
right.
man.
I see what I'm working with. Pisces World. So I named it that because I'm a Pisces, obviously. Born in March. And that I think I wrote like I read a horoscope that kind of like really reminded me of like my characteristics and my personality. So that's why I was like, okay, let me name the album A Pisces World. And the process, like I started recording it in Ottawa
Mm-hmm.
But then I moved to Toronto like halfway through, and then one of the guys that was working on the project too, he moved to Detroit.
Damn.
So like it kind of turned into like what's happening now, like a virtual thing, because we started like
you're ahead of the times.
always, man. Yeah, that's why I love Kanye, man. That's how our brain works. You know what I mean? That's how our brain works. So basically, my guy Salam Status, he moved to Detroit. I was working with him, this engineer named Nagil, and another producer named P. So like every day we would get together, meet at the studio, and work on every track together. Right. And then that kind of like that process broke apart because he moved to Detroit, I moved to Toronto. But we still made it work. We would get like on Skype. You know.
How did you find that process?
Shit. At first it was rough. Oh shit, my phone is.
Don't worry about it. Continue talking, man.
Yeah. So at first, the process was difficult because we're so used to like being in the studio.
Especially then too, it wasn't really it wasn't that popular, right? Like it was a get in the studio kind of vibe, right?
Exactly, and just the way we worked, we really fed off each other in the studio, and so it was kind of difficult trying to manage people's schedules too, and like when you're doing things over Skype, you're not hearing all the elements, like the quality of the music, but well, we made it work, you know what I mean? So we would like kind of like work on something, send it over to the next person, all write down notes, get back to it.
So not at any time did you feel like the quality was compromised at all, or?
I think
in an obvious Dream Road, you would have been in the studio all together the whole time. But do you think the end result was different that significantly? Yeah,
like retrospect, I definitely think, I do like the project, but I think it would have been better if we were in the room, just because it kind of felt rushed. Yeah, we kind of rushed it because like we didn't have that anymore. That hands-on, all of us being in the same room. And
vibing to the same sounds and all that.
Exactly, because us four, when we get into the studio, we're super experimental. Like we try everything.
I can hear it, man.
You know, so it's so that I felt like the process of finishing the album was kind of rushed. But
do you guys still create together?
Yeah. Like the thing with me is like whether one of them like produces a track on the next album or not, like I always like send them my music and get their take on it, or they touch up like another producer's beats, like just
to master it a bit better.
Exactly, because they are part of like the City Fidelia DNA, you know. And that's something I'll never forget, whether I work with the biggest producer or not. Like the people that know you the best are gonna make sure that whatever you do is authentic to you, you know what I'm saying?
You can hear that in a lot of your music, man, like in terms of keeping the same people you starved with, eating with the same people you starved with.
100%.
You know? I respect that. The evening show, bro, that was perfect, like 2015 vibes. That took me back, bro. The feature Tara, she's amazing.
Yeah, she killed it at the end. That's actually my favorite part.
I loved it. It was honestly some old Drake vibes, if you ask me. Some like Thank Me Later shit, you know. Yeah, but obviously with your own shit.
That's not even like old Drake. That's like Drake at that time. Like that's Thank Me Later time. Is it?
True.
That was like 2010, bro. Like
Thank Me Later.
Thank Me Later.
That's 11, right? Or 10, 11.
I'm thinking of the one with the like the blue sky one. Yeah,
like I love like the electric sounds in that song. Like you know.
That's Gold Stripes. That was produced by my man Gold Stripes.
Dog, that sound is underrated now. Like it's not used enough anymore, bro.
It's crazy, man. I shot like a whole like huge like production video for that shit. And then like the person that shot it, one of my close friends, he moved to LA. And then there was like some scenes we didn't like about the video. But like he moved to LA and like he was having trouble getting his computer there at one point. And then it became like a year and I never released it. But it was crazy, man. Like we had like a boxing ring and then like girls like battling in the dancing ring, and it was crazy.
That's sick. That
sounds sick.
Fuck, man.
Like a movie I people,
like, and it was a long shoot. It was like from a good like 9 or 10 a.m. to like 9 p.m.
Damn,
it's a full day.
So people were like, yo, so where's that video?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That must happen a lot, bro. A lot of
Yeah.
ideas that don't get shown to the public and shit
Oh,
like that.
100%, man.
Yeah.
I got like so many songs that like, you know, I had a conversation with one of my managers today, and I was just like, yo, like I just want to release just an EP just for songs. 'Cause I know if I don't release it right now, no one's ever gonna hear these, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, we like to think things through and make sure like it's rolled out. Yeah, exactly.
So let's move another year forward.
Just another thing, I also loved Monologue on that track, man. That was
Oh, yeah.
good song. Stress free. I can see these bitches got you stressing, bro. And Mrs. Hennessy, Chrissy Spratt. Shout out to
Chrissy Spratt, man.
My favorite off that one. 4 a.m. is my favorite off that one.
Yeah, shout out to my mom. I just released another song with my boy Illinois, the same guy that was on that song. He released a single that I'm on like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
you guys
shit.
should check it out. It's called Friday.
I think I saw that on your IG, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
most likely, yeah.
I could be tripping.
Well, congratulations.
Check that out. All right, 2016, Freedom.
Yes.
Explain the title. Where were you?
Freedom.
A year later, where are you
I
now?
love this album, bro. I enjoy this album a lot.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. And honestly, like it's one of those things where I made it, and after I was done it, I was nervous that like I'm like shit. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make something better than this at the time, you know.
Setting the bar high.
Freedom. So that album's about pretty much before moving to Toronto, I was in a relationship and all that. And then when I moved to Toronto, like the first week or two, I was living in a condo that like pretty much it was a nice condo and shit, but I had nothing in it. It was like I had a
Moving
futon.
Yeah.
I had a like futon on the floor, like no internet, nothing. You know what I mean? And then me and that dude in Illinois that's on 4 a.m. or whatnot, we were sharing that futon mattress. Not even a futon, futon mattress.
You don't even get the coach option. You
Yeah,
just get the mattress.
We just had a mattress,
Made a line
man.
with your hoodies, like I don't cross this line.
you know what I'm saying?
Head to toe.
So so you know, and I was brand new to the city, and then the first like 2-3 weeks, that's when me and like a girl that I was seeing, like we broke up and shit. And then you know, while I was at work, I was like, damn, like you know, I'm not gonna make the same mistake when it comes to, you know, after a breakup, going crazy, you know, going out going out too often or sleeping with girls left and right.
That's not what liquor and hoes sounds like.
I don't want to sound what freedom sounds like, my guy. Freedom sounds like you do all that shit.
yeah, you know, the good comes with the bad too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But yeah, that's how the concept of the name of the title came up, because I was like, I want freedom, but I want to
you don't want to
try to stay away from the dumb shit. So that's how it's like freedom. You know what I mean?
It sounds like that when you listen to it. It sounds therapeutic almost. You know? Like
It was a very that whole project was literally about like that moment. That moment I felt like, oh shit, like life is different, because when you're in a relationship for so long, that's all you know. You know what I mean? Like you don't know life without that person.
Then suddenly on your own.
For real.
So like when that happened, it was just kind of like, oh shit, like, yo, what does life look like for me now? You know what I'm saying? Like my whole future was like painted with this, you know, with that person in that picture. So yeah, so like the experiences like licking hoes, you know what I mean? I had my moments, you know. Yeah, I was drinking, and you know, sometimes what that leads to, you know.
Hoes.
Just some lines I just want to shout out to. The first track, just shout out what you were doing it for, man. Doing it for your mama, so she ain't got to do it no more. That hit me. When you self-conscious, bro, that one was an interesting track, bro. Making profits for profits. I was
jeez,
bro.
Just does a full 360.
And it's dope to hear, dog, because there was a lot of pain in that album, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
I can hear a lot of pain. But then
yeah,
when the last track, Freedom, plays, bro, Goosebumps right now, dog. Like, it's just so refreshing, bro. And then you hear the choir, sing and everything. How'd you link up with that choir? Like,
oh man, honestly, like I had
and they called the Freedom Choir, man. Like, that's hype, dog.
Yo, shout out to my man Joel Naga. He's the one that suggested that title. Yeah, so basically, I had some voices, like individual voices in my head. And then I called them all in the studio, and I stacked their voices up individually. Because choirs are really hard to get, man.
Yeah, you gotta record that shit in like a chapel or something, bro.
That, and also it's like, but also it's that, like, you know, they have like the religious views and stuff like that, and as a rapper, they don't even take time for the most. Well, in my experience, they didn't even take the time.
Liquor and hoes don't mix with choirs. You know what I mean?
But hey, man, like I always tell, like, because you know there was an individual that told me one time, they're like, oh, like you're not making music. I know you're making music for the world or whatnot. I'm like, yo, I'm in these songs. I'm also telling the gospel, because it's like
I can hear it, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like words are man-made. It's not like these words we're using day to day. It's not made by God. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta use the right words to evoke the right emotions. The emotions that's made by God, like shit that's beyond us. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, if I'm saying fuck or bitch, I'm putting it in there so people can understand what I'm trying to say, for me to get my point across.
Humans are Christians too, man.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's like, I see myself more as a spiritual person. Like, I'm not crazy into religion. Like, I follow Christian morals, like, because I grew up in that, and like, you know, that's what's been working out for me. But I'm very open to whatever people want to believe in. But at the end of the day, it's just, music's like a movie. Like, if you're making a movie about the 1940s or the 1800s or whatever, you gotta use that language to connect with the audience. So
man. Even what's the nice guys don't fly, even Jesus got crucified.
Jeez, that's probably one of my favorite lines.
That was a great
line. It hit me, bro. It hit me.
Yeah, man. It's like, just elaborate on that line. It's just like, it's, no matter how much good you put in this world, there's gonna be someone out there that's gonna be, that's gonna be like, you did this to me, or you're this or that. So it's like, damn, coming to that realization that, like, you know,
nothing's ever gonna be perfect. Everyone,
exactly. If Jesus got crucified, imagine
we ain't safe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
So you did lately you did the music video for that song.
Yeah.
I got two questions about that. What's the brand of shirt you're wearing in that? Because there was like two other guys wearing it with the same logo. Is that like some like independent brand that you started?
It's my it's my collect. Damn. Okay. All right. Y'all paying attention.
Yes, sir.
Y'all paying attention. Details. I like this. I like these kind of interviews.
Let's go.
I believe in y'all, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
It's a collective ensemble. So this place is called Real House of Ensemble.
We're gonna get to that a little bit too. But okay, cool. So that's been around since 2016.
Yeah. So we all got together. Yeah, in 2016.
Who's we all?
So originally the founders were me, Aiden, Stan, and John, and basically Aiden, he went to Carleton with me here, but he's originally from Toronto, and then John and Stan, they lived in Paris. They grew up in Paris, but they that year they moved to Toronto. The same year I moved, and John I met at my first job. So like, for some reason, we were the first two people to arrive at the first day of the job, and we're black. So I was surprised, because usually we late, you know what I'm saying? But that's when I knew shit's changing.
The universe, man.
But so from there we became tight, and then my other dude Stan was his roommate. So I got super close to them. They became my family. Well, they're my family now, but like they became my family in Toronto, basically. And then from there, they saw that I was making music. Like they had nothing. Like for the most part, they weren't in the music industry at all, and they wanted to help me. And I was like, yo, it's just not easy, you know. And then we sat down. I made them I asked them to tell me like what do they want out of this, because it's like I want them to see it as like oh, like I'm in this just to help you. Like, no, like you gotta see what's in it for yourself too, you know? And then from there we went through a lot of names like Bros and Cons, like a whole bunch of names, and Ensemble really reflected what we represented because we do things together. And then it grew as a brand pretty much.
That's sick,
cool.
Man.
And lately is used by like, or was used as like an intro song for It's Your Boy, like the guy on.
Yeah.
How did that start? I gotta quickly ask about that.
It's Your Boy. I know him for
It's a deep track
for
also.
a while, man. Sorry,
It's a deep track.
Oh yeah. That
track.
I think the reason that that song like really worked is like literally every line was like the truth. Like, it was like literally just me pouring my heart out. I was like
hearing.
I didn't write that. My heart was just like
pouring it out.
Pouring it out, you
Your
know.
pen was just the vessel.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, It's Your Boy. I know him for a while. He put me on a show. I think it was like 2013, 14 at Ottawa U. He started this.
Is he
festival.
Canadian?
Yeah. He's from Ottawa.
Oh, from Ottawa. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. He's an Ottawa guy that's doing really well.
Well, yeah, he's big on you.
Huge, man.
Huge.
And he invited me to his house one time, and I'm like, damn.
Blown away. That's high.
Well, he's been on YouTube for time too.
From
right?
time,
Like,
yeah.
Like he's been on there for a while.
And so he started this festival called ELE Fest.
Oh fuck, he started that.
He started that,
Bro, that's where I saw Pusha T and Black there.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
he
dude, that concert, the one at U Ottawa.
So someone else took over after that.
Oh,
but
okay.
he's the one that started. And
Oh wow.
And even that year was just pure. For the most part, it was local talent.
Yeah, no.
But the cool thing that he did was basically whoever was booked on the festival, he matched them with like another band or a group, and then you made the song and a shot of video for that song.
That's fucking sick.
Like he killed it. Like the way he put that shit together,
Creative
like it was
fuck.
crazy.
Just wow.
And then when I released that song, he was like, "Yo, like,
Let me use it.
yeah, can I use it for my intro?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" You know. And now, like, sometimes when I go to the video, I just see comments. It's your boy, bro.
No,
here.
dude,
It's your boy, bro.
That's
here.
how I got there. I was like watching it. I'm like, who's here from It's Your Boy? 70 comments. Me. I'm like, shit,
Yeah,
okay.
man. Yeah.
Who's
So,
this?
shout out to him, man. He really helped out with like the success of that song. He definitely had a part of it. So shout out to him for sure.
That's dope.
All right, Painkiller 2019.
Yes.
Explain that title and where you were.
I heard that was meant to be called something else, I believe.
Was that
Yeah.
supposed to be Thaw? Like,
I thought,
Time
yeah.
Heals
It
All
was
Wounds?
supposed to be
that
called
was
Time Heals
supposed
All
to be
Wounds.
that?
Yeah, that's what it was. And then, because in terms of the marketing and aspect of my projects, like I'll usually have like a deep dive, like sit down with my boy Joel Naga, and because he's like a marketing genius. And I'll tell him what I'm trying to do, and he's like, man, like Time Heals All Wounds sounds like one of those R&B albums with a guy with his shirt off or whatever
on a beach like this.
you know what I'm saying? But we knew that like we wanted to keep it around like that realm, like wounds, like
Pain, man.
pain. You know, so I called one of my managers, Stan. So I was like, man, it's not cutting it. You know, I talked to Joel. He's not feeling it. And like me, if I'm not super sold on an idea, I'm not gonna be stubborn and be like, no, you know. I'm like, all right, cool. So we were on a Skype call because my manager lives in Paris. So we were on a Skype call, and then me, him, and his wife were going back and forth with ideas. And I think it was either him or his wife was like, Painkiller. I was like, oh shoot, yeah, that works. Because prior to the album cover I have now, I had the whole idea of, having stuff like in a Ziploc that you see in that short film. I don't know if you guys seen the short film.
That's gonna be my next question.
Yeah, so that was the concept of
the chain and the drugs.
chain.
And
Was this
Exactly.
you in the orange jumpsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes
okay.
to GTA. Yeah,
So originally that bag was supposed to be like the cover, but then my boy Jonathan, he did his photography thing. He like took everything in that bag and put it on the table and took a picture of it. So that's what you see
I love
now.
I love the cover.
It works perfectly.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I didn't even make that connection. That's all the shit that was in that bag.
Yeah.
Can you explain that video?
Yeah, it was just like, it's pretty much me in a in an Instagram jail because we see so much like on this. That's why my eyes are like tripping out because it's like, yo, we see so much on Instagram that makes us want to do all these like crazy shit.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's like
that's where you get to
it's
GTA.
that moment. Yeah, exactly. It's my moment where I break out of the Instagram jail and just kind
Out of the Matrix.
you know.
I was like, I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah, man, that was hilarious, man. I actually enjoyed that shot.
No, I enjoyed that video. I was like, it was cool. Like, it's just like cool marketing, like rollout kind of thing. Right?
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, this is a neat way to do this.
Yeah, we love rollouts, man.
So if we're gonna go back to, like, I'm gonna go back there to the Shifter interview in 2019.
Yeah.
You had just come back to Ottawa.
Yeah.
To get in touch with your roots. You said.
Yeah.
So did you record all of Painkiller here in Ottawa?
For the most part, I recorded it here. A lot of the songs, honestly, came out like I created it maybe like a month before I released the project, like a month or two.
Wow.
I was actually watching some girl's vlog, and it was for your listening party to that album.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, that was a sick vlog. The listening party looks sick.
Yeah, it was crazy. That day was nuts because I had two parties that same night.
Oh, okay.
So I had the private party that was packed.
Yeah.
And then I had the after party at the People nightclub, which was packed too. It was a crazy night. I was so drunk. I was.
That's your day, man. That's
Yeah,
your day.
man.
L&H,
What?
baby, L&H.
Oh man, they told me.
What I loved about that is what I just noticed about that was you said that someone had told you that your music had saved their life.
Yeah.
And that had caused you to take a completely different
Is
approach.
that what inspired the capital K in killer? Like you're killing pain, you're a pain killer,
Yeah,
rather than. Like,
it was like there was multiple meanings to it. It was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, everybody has their way to cope with like life. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Some people it's getting money, some people it's the actual drugs, some people it's drinking, some people it's sex. Like everyone has their own way to overcome whatever they're dealing with.
Pain.
And then the other aspect to that title is like, you know, like people could use this project as their painkiller, you know what I mean? Because usually painkiller takes like 30 minutes to kick in, so it's like
Heavy.
after 30 minutes, you
yeah.
know what I mean? After 36 minutes of listening to this, you'll feel you'll feel better, you know?
Fuck yeah.
You were worried you weren't gonna top Freedom, man, but don't worry. You
I think you did. Yeah,
yeah.
this is my favorite
This one
project.
shocked
This
me.
is my favorite.
This is definitely my favorite project too. It's gonna be hard to top this one, but
You just
you're
keep
able to
saying
do
it.
it.
Keep saying it. You'll keep doing it, bro.
yeah, exactly, man.
I just want to ask about the.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, it's
But,
it's the people working out.
Neighbors. Fucking
Keep it down.
first. Sorry, I was gonna just
Rock
go
paper
in.
scissors it. Or?
Let me go
There
for
you
it.
go, man, yeah.
I just wanted to know. I've asked a couple of the artists that we've had on this.
Yeah.
Just listening to Red Pill, the idea of having Red Pill and Blue Pill on it, and in Red Pill you're talking about unlearning. Like that's the hardest thing to do and shit
100%,
like that.
yeah.
Like, so like, I just wanted to know like how. It's such a hard question, and it's also so hard to like ask you certain things because this is basically it's so personal to you, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But just like what's your approach on life, man? Like in terms of
Oh man, it's like honestly, man, that's why I'm just so proud of life right now. Just because like, you know, when I grew up, like I grew up, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, where, you know, it was, you know, in the neighborhood, you were that cool cat.
Yeah.
If you made the most money off selling dope, you know, fights, people dying, all that shit.
I had a lot of close call, man. That shit sounded scary, dog.
You know what I mean? Some real shit. So, for me to get to the point where I was able to unlearn a lot of those habits, because like, back then it's like our mentality growing up was like, yo, we don't give a fuck, we don't care, you know, like, you know, we're just rowdy. It's all about looking good, getting money. You know what I'm saying? Who could sleep with most girls? Like that was the mentality back then, you know what I'm saying?
In Ottawa, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Thought, like,
the people, because obviously they don't really put that in the forefront, but like in these little neighborhoods, these things are
Where
happening.
Where are you from in Ottawa?
Chinatown. I grew up in Chinatown.
Oh, yes, I knew that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I went to a school called Notre Dame. I was there from 7th, 8th grade, and so when I went to that school, that's when I really started chilling with a lot of people from the west end of the city, and like, yes, things are hard out there. You know what I'm saying? It really took me to like my mom was like, yeah, you're not staying at that school, you're switching schools. And that's when that's when I realized, I was like, oh shit, like, my mentality before was crazy. You know what I mean? The high school I went to was more like artsy. More teachers cared about like,
how the students did.
Shout out to one of my teachers, her name's Miss Caldwell. She like really helped me, change my perspective on life. You know what I mean?
You
like,
always remember those teachers, man.
Man, always. You know what I'm saying? Till this day, she's all about, the students that are less fortunate. And sometimes you need that extra support to push through, So.
And now we're sitting here in your studio.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's beautiful.
I have a question about, college dropout.
Yeah.
Where's that name come from? Is it like an inspirational thing? Is it because you dropped out of university? Like, where is it all of those things?
Yeah, it's pretty much
experimental. It's a very experimental album. It sounds like, I find it a bit more. You explore more sounds, your range, like you sing, you rap on that album. Is it all of those things? It's just
like you said, like pretty much in a nutshell, is that like, just like it's like I dropped out of university like 4th year. It was one of those things. I'm not recommending it for anybody. It's just for me, it worked. Like that's how I saw my life panning out.
Lucky motherfucker. Lucky dog.
Out. So then and I just a couple lines. A couple
Mom's
lines.
Gonna hear this and be like, "Fuck, what are we wasting our money on?"
Man.
Sorry.
No. And man, I always saw Kanye as an inspiration for me. He, that song talks a lot about like feeling like the underdog. Like feeling like the underdog. Man. Feeling like somebody's telling you, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was always inspired by that mentality when it comes to Ye. So that's why I called it like Ye College Dropout, just because like that's kind of resembles my life.
Yeah. And you still repping the Lord, which is what he's doing, man.
Like, exactly. All day, you know what I mean?
Man.
I'm always for anybody that believes that there's something beyond them.
Word.
As long as whether you're Muslim, Christian, whatever you choose that works for you, as long as you believe that there's something beyond you, I'm good,
Even if you don't believe in anything, it's okay, man. It's totally normal to be atheist too.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Freak.
All right. Now we're done. Well, we're done. Yeah, we'll move on. We're not talking. We're done talking about your the work you've done.
Yes,
Let's talk about the work you've done to put into your works, your creative process.
Yes.
What does yours look like? Get that one out of the way right now.
Oh man, it changes all the time. Sometimes I'll just watch a movie and get inspired by a word. Like it would be like literally something someone said, and then I'll keep that in mind and then pick an instrumental that kind of fits that. And then once I'll let like just words come out, and then from there I'll kind of like structure the song the way I want it to be. And then sometimes just through conversation with people. Mm-hmm. I love having conversation with people and try to understand where people are coming from like that. It kind of helps me know what angle I want to take when I'm approaching a song. Because I think it's really important to understand the psychology of how people take in music. That's pretty much my process.
Do you write?
It depends. So like lately here, I just pretty much line by like I'll just freestyle line by line.
Pick and choose what you like.
Yeah. Just I'll just like say a line, stop, next line, record it, because I record myself right now. So
you can just pick and choose. Oh, that was dope. Cut that.
Yeah, exactly. It's quick on the spot.
Do you produce it all?
A little bit. Like I've been like a lot of the tracks on Painkiller. Like I co-produce it, but it's like I don't really like to put myself on the credits like that. Like,
but if you're out there, man. Like,
no, for sure. It's just like, like, because I like to give the producers the credit, their shine.
Which is beautiful.
But yeah, like a lot of the producers could tell you, like, when it comes to creating a beat, like I play a large role into how it's gonna sound, how like it's how the song's put together, and
kind of like a backseat producer.
Pretty much, I'll say like I'm a good backseat producer. Yeah. I've made a couple beats myself, but I'm still trying to get better at that before I put out something on my own.
Who are your favorite producers to work with?
So P. Picasso, he's my go-to all the time. My brother Jeff Sannon, he's fire. He's very easy to work with because you literally just, you tell him what you're looking for and he'll whip that up in like 2 seconds.
That's hype.
Eva Shaw, she's super talented.
We're gonna talk about her in a bit.
Yeah, she's dope. She's one of the best producers I know. Tino, he makes dope beats. He mixed and mastered the whole Painkiller album. Kamali, I can't forget Kamali. Actually, Kamali's super dope. He's the one that kind of basically changed the direction of the project. Like, he sent me like 3 beats, and it kind of like, I was like, oh shit, and then
the curve out, the bell curve.
So it kind of, so that he kind of set the energy of the project the way people are hearing it now. So
that's hype.
Yeah. Are there more fucking
damn.
thunderstorm upstairs? God damn.
God damn, yeah.
Someone go up there. Raggo, go up there. Figure that shit out. Make yourself useful. So we'll go back to that shifter interview.
Yeah.
You said at that time, that's just like a year ago, there's only about like 3 producers you really work with or fuck with in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Is there more now?
For the most part, it's the same pool of producers. Like it's still, P, Salam Status, my brother, Kamali. For the most part, because I just like I know they kind of like know me best, but I'm forgetting Andrew Waynes too. I work a lot with Andrew Waynes. He's a singer, pop R&B singer, guitar player as well. So I would say he's been like the newest guy that I work with like a lot. But yeah, I like to keep it within the family for the most part.
That's hype. What about like
Keep a small circle.
upcoming Ottawa artists? You looking for any of those? Or anything?
Like artists or producer? Yeah. Like this is what the space is for, to kind of like assist upcoming artists.
True that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cats I really mess with out here. This dude named Hueso, J King, Leah Cloud.
Yeah, I actually saw you were fucking with the Nut podcast. It's got
Newts. Yeah.
Sorry, that's how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Newts.
Oh,
Okay. Bobby Regal. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kim.
Yeah, beauties. We met Kim through another interview we did earlier.
Oh, okay, dope. Who?
Kelsey.
Oh, Kelsey. Yeah. Kim's fire, man. She a hard worker.
Pushing.
Manager, 5 stars. That's why I always tell her you're a 5-star manager. Yeah, there's a lot of cats I'm messing with right now, but like those are the few that like I talk to like on a regular basis for the most part that I can remember. So don't be offended.
I forgot.
You know what I'm saying? These are people I recently talked to and shit. But yeah.
Go back to Eva Shaw there. How did that start? How did that partnership start?
So her label partner is part of a group called Showtech.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever heard them. Yeah, they're like a big EDM group. So they reached out to me. This is when I was living in Toronto. So Wilder, that's one of the guys in Showtech. Mm-hmm. He met me in Toronto. We worked on a couple tracks, and then he's like, "Hey, I know somebody that like you'd be like make dope tracks with." And then Eva Shaw, I think a couple months later, came down to Toronto, and then we made like three songs.
Where's she from?
She's originally from Toronto, but she's been living in like New York and LA for like the past like 10, 12 years.
Okay, that's sick.
I fuck with snakes.
Yeah, snakes is hard,
what
man.
What you need makes me want to put my shoulder through walls. Man. Like, it's fucking just like it is.
Like I wouldn't have thought she produced that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like,
She's a really dope producer. Like she takes her time. Like we were talking about, like, because I interviewed her on my like talk show that I have on
word.
Instagram, and yeah, like we would go like back and forth about, like, you know, from delivery of the lyrics to the beats.
Yeah,
she's
like,
in there.
She's in there from
yeah.
the moment you're recording. Like she's really hands on. She's like, you know, those what a producer actually is. You know what I mean? Like
she knows what she wants and she's gonna get it.
Yeah, because there's that difference between like a beat maker and producer. You know,
one
so
that brings the song together.
exactly, and that's what she does for real.
But yeah, those fucking songs. Oh yeah. I fuck with snakes. Snakes is it.
Yeah, that's still one of my favorite tracks, man. we killed it on that one, man.
Music videos hype too, bro.
Yeah. See, that's the thing with Eva too. Like, if you're doing a song with her, you're gonna get that big budget.
Yeah.
Like she, you know, someone styling you and all that shit. Like,
Heavy.
Yeah, man. Go check. Before I'm gonna plug her in real quick.
Let's
she
do
just
that.
dropped the EP with Nate Husser. So check that out.
That's sick.
Cool.
You guys were also meant to drop a.
You have like, you said you have like over 20 tracks together.
Yeah. We have a lot of tracks.
You've not put them all together on a single EP or anything like that?
So basically the original plan after we dropped those 4 tracks,
Singles,
we're going to drop like an album.
Yeah.
But around that time, I don't know, I was just in a place where I just moved back to Ottawa, and I was kind of like, I felt like I needed to give the world something like Painkiller, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was my vibe. But yeah, she's been putting out some dope music, and yeah, we're definitely gonna put out those tracks soon. We're still working right now.
We need them. I need them. I fucking need them, man.
Yeah, we got some dope shit on the way.
So I think it was her. Like you were somehow through her you met Malik, Yusef,
Malik
Jean as well.
So I met Wyclef Jean through her.
Through her, sorry, yes,
okay.
my bad.
Malik Yusef I met at a Grammy party. So which story?
I want to hear the Malik Yusef.
I want to hear Wyclef Jean. We'll let him go first.
Because I kind of like, obviously we need to hear the Wyclef story, but I have heard it on
the Shifter, yeah.
Shifters,
yeah.
Shifter, oh, okay.
People still gotta hear it.
So yeah, Malik Yusef, me and some homies, we kind of like finessed our way in a Grammy party, and Malik Yusef was there, and Joel, the same Joel, introduced me. He knew Malik before, so he introduced me to him, and then after that, we connected. And then the next time I went back to LA, me and Malik had a session, and that's when I played him Freedom. He was I actually wanted to get him on the album to do like some kind of like interlude or whatnot.
Yeah.
But like he's a busy man, you know.
Word,
like at that time he was working on Life of Pablo.
Crazy.
You know, like working with Jay-Z, like you know what I'm saying. So he's super busy. So yeah, through that we had a session, and he really fucked with like the project. And when he heard that Freedom, the last joint, that's when he was sold too. He was like, holy shit. Because it took me a while before sending him some stuff. And then he was like, yo, I understand why you took some time. Like, this is beautiful, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because in that session, King Los came through. I don't know if you guys know King Los.
Yeah.
He came through the studio, and then he's like, yo, play me some stuff that you guys are working on. And then when he heard Liquor and Hoes, like King Los went crazy.
Word.
And then, man, we had like a crazy conversation, pretty much that changed my life. You know, they're really talking about just, you know, energy and all that shit. And I really applied that to my life after that. And
I was gonna, like, my next question, my follow up for that was just gonna be how has that scenario changed your creative process? But I guess that's it right there.
Yeah, it's just like when you work with Malik, he's very like precise and like very you know, he really pays attention to the kind of words, like he matches like words with like frequencies, like he sees things like
colors, bro.
He's on he's on another planet.
On some next shit.
Yeah, man, like he knows the right words to use, the right melodies that are gonna hit the
rather than hears them kind of deal.
Yeah, like he's a different kind of beast, man. Like, you know, he wrote like Heartless and All of the Lights.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like he's really good with words, and being in the studio with him as well is that he'll take time to like give you like some life lessons. He'll go like, He'll speak for like 2 hours and give you life lessons that make you really think about what you want to say on a verse, you know? So
that's important, man. Like,
just the little details, paying attention to the details. That's what I've learned from Malik Yusef.
And getting to freestyle in front of, or not freestyle, but rap for Wyclef Jean. Backstage. Was it backstage somewhere?
No, it's at Showtech's video shoot that was directed by Eva Shaw.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
what was that like? Just meeting him.
It was crazy because like I'm Haitian, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I listened to Wyclef. Like Wyclef was playing every day. Like that was my guy, my idol. That's my idol. You know what I mean? Like the score, the carnival, like that shit was getting played over and over. Like that's my idol, and still my idol. Him and Kanye, man. You know. So.
And you've seen like both Malik Yusef
can't
is
get
a
much
step.
closer.
It's
beautiful, crazy, man.
Off the bucket list, the checklist.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I reflect back. I'm like, man, I'm a guy from Ottawa. Like in these rooms, it's kind of crazy. But
you deserve it, man.
Yeah, with Wyclef, it was crazy because we were talking because we have a mutual friend, artist, that's from Montreal. His name is Impos, and that's how the conversation. He's like, "Oh, you rap," and then even Water was like, "Yeah, he raps or whatever." He's like, "Rap right now."
Damn.
I'm like, shit. I'm like, boom. You know, I just started like freestyling, adding some old bars from different songs, just doing it all at the same time, and he was really impressed by it. So I'm sure like we'll eventually work on something at some point.
Man.
Yeah.
Even just to have the opportunity, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
Just being around those people must change sort of your outlook or something. Something they say, you know, just resonates a little bit with you, right? Sticks in your mind, right?
No, for sure, man. And it kind of reinforces like that I'm going in the right direction. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, you know, lately in January. Yeah, it was January. I was out in LA during the Grammy time too, and I was in the studio with Vic Mensa and stuff like that. He's working on some dope stuff, and
that's crazy because I get the like Vic Mensa vibes from What You Need.
Yeah, it's very rock.
Yeah,
it's
like
rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vic is like I don't know when he's gonna release his
I like
stuff,
Vic
but
Mensa. Like there's two of us in this interview that like Vic Mensa, right?
Yeah. You don't like it?
No disrespect.
But
I changed.
But his. For what I heard, his new stuff is gonna make people are gonna fuck with it.
Is he doing like the punk stuff?
I can't speak.
I
can't speak on his music, but it's sounding really dope.
That's dope.
But while I was there, they're showing me love and just kind of being like, yo, you know, they really fuck with my approach when it comes to music.
So you travel a lot. You've lived in Toronto, Ottawa, you've been in LA. I feel like I've heard you say you've been in New York for times too.
Yeah, I lived in New York for a year.
Where do you find yourself most creative, or where have you found yourself to be most creative?
New York
Man,
City.
I don't know, man. I would say everywhere has been different, honestly. You know, like when I'm here, I feel like I'm more in tune with my emotions and stuff like that, just because, you know, you see your friends, you see your family,
nostalgia,
you know what I'm saying, nostalgia. So
it's easy going,
and it's just kind of like things are not as fast here, right? So you don't. Do
you mean Canada in general or just Ottawa?
I would say like Ottawa's not as fast, so it's like you have time to like think and breathe, you know. Whereas I would say Toronto, it's a place where, you know, the talent level is really high, so it's like,
and everyone wants it. Like
everyone wants it, so it's kind of easy to kind of, I would say, to bang out good records faster. But it's not necessarily mean that they're personal records.
Do you find it gets lost though, more so that way? Like there's so many people putting out so much stuff that you like we were talking about before, just become your small fish in a big pond kind of deal there. Whereas with Ottawa, it's a smaller community. There's less people, and you kind of have a little bit more weight here just because it is such a small circle.
Yeah, for sure. And I think because just in life in general, I think the more authentic you are, the more people are going to be intrigued when it comes to your story, you
100%.
know? And moving back here, it was more about like, okay, now I can actually use my tools, like use the connections I build in LA, Toronto, New York, and benefit people that are here. Whereas like, if I'm in Toronto, I'm just another guy in Toronto. I'm not, you know, like I'm the outsider. I'm the guy that moved to Toronto. Yeah, whereas now I'm in a position where, you know, even for people in Toronto, like we could exchange something, you know what I mean?
They'll
it's
take
like,
you seriously.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
You're
like,
an OG.
pretty much, you know what I mean? I've been in this shit
Ottawa,
forever, man.
Yeah,
Damn.
bro.
Yeah.
You know?
So how has your style evolved with the Canadian scene, the music scene here, or rap scene? First of all, what's your take on the evolution of the Canadian rap scene?
The Canadian rap scene?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, you know what I mean? I would say the only thing I would say about the Canadian hip hop scene is that, like, I think a lot of artists don't get the shine they deserve, you know what I mean? Like, you look at great artists from like Toronto, like Sean Leon or Claremont, like you guys should check them out. They're really like talented and very artistic when it comes to music. And I don't feel like the Canadian industry embraces that enough and puts enough faith in those kind of projects. But it's definitely at its best right now. You know, you look at I seen a post on Instagram and it was talking about like Tory Lanez and The Weeknd. It's just listing a whole bunch of things that are happening in the music industry in general, and it's all happening by Canadians.
Yeah, word.
So Canada is definitely like up there. You know what I mean?
It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
How much harder do you think Canadian artists have it? Like when it comes to getting their name out there, making it in the industry as a whole outside of Canada, how much harder do you think it is for them?
I would say it is a lot harder just because, you know, the media outlets that could really break you are all in the States, you know, so.
That's true.
You know.
They ain't even report about the music. It's about your life. Like you went to go get coffee at Starbucks.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard for artists from Canada to break, even though like people do have their eyes on Toronto and stuff like that. But what I will say, when it comes to that, it forces Canadian artists to make quality things, and that's why you get your Jesse Reyes and your Daniel Caesars and stuff like that.
Daniel Caesar's from Canada?
Yeah, he's from Toronto.
Shit, man. I did not know that.
So yeah.
We've talked about this too, like in some of our past interviews, but how can Canadians, like Canadian music listeners, help Canada help advance Canada's place in the rap world? Like how do you think like media outlets or just the average listener, how do you think they can contribute to legitimizing Canada's rap scene? You
got to kick the old dudes out of the radios, man.
I was literally about to say that. It's that like even if let's say the people working there now, I think they just need to be more open, because it's clearly showing that hip hop is like the number one genre in the world. So there should be more of that on the the main radio station here, and getting support with that. You know, you have I don't know if you guys heard of Night Lavelle. I'm sure you guys know Night Lavelle.
I didn't even hear that. What you said?
Night Lavelle.
Oh yeah.
So like, he's doing well. He's doing his thing, but you don't hear him on the radio in his hometown. Like,
that's why
that you know what I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So I think that's how the Canadian industry could help artists, like just put like more attention, more funding into hip-hop.
They don't want country music to die, bro. That's they gotta keep playing it.
But it's like, hey, if we're talking like economics, it's like it's probably a better thing to like look at what Drake did to Toronto. Like the economy went up. You know what I'm
saying? Bro. Fucking tourists.
The city is actually like kind of recognized as a cool place to go worldwide now, right?
You know what I'm saying? So
so
I think that's what they need to stop being scared of hip hop and support it, and they'll see how things are gonna change.
What do you think Ottawa needs to make it booming?
Yeah, it's hard to take Ottawa seriously, man. I feel like even for artists, like
Ottawa, everyone takes it too seriously is the thing, right? Like it's known as the city that like fun forgot. So when you think about it, it's a very black and white, starchy, suit and tie kind of town, right?
Yeah.
So, like, again, just from a music perspective, from your point of view, what do you think that Ottawa needs to really make artists feel welcome here, to make artists feel like they can have a career here? Like, what do you think it'll take?
Like I was telling Shifters, it was like we need like more of like what you guys are doing, you know, like on the artist side of things,
you're doing your job.
We're doing a job, and we have enough of those. I feel, you know, we need more media outlets that now like are competing against like Hot 97s or whatever, and because like that now you guys will have a voice to be like, oh, this is the guy we want to support and see like get to the next level.
Word.
And through your website, like, or whatever platform you guys have, like people around the world can now, you know, fall in love with whatever you guys want to support. So I think it's about us artists supporting what you guys are doing to get it to the next level.
Word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you describe the Ottawa rap scene to us? From your point of view, I mean, you've been here rapping in Ottawa for a long time.
Yeah.
Can describe the evolution and just where it is now, and where it was to begin, like when you started.
I'll say like back when I was starting out, people were like very content with like, you know, there used to be a club called Ritual here that closed down, so they were really content of like, you know, opening up for artists here. And, you know, some people saying their name here and shit. And that's one of the reasons I moved to Toronto, because at the time I was like, I want more. Hungry. You know, I want to get comfortable with like, you know, get in my head and be like, oh, shit. Like, nah, it's like, I understand, like, there's a whole world outside of this shit, you know? So if I want to get to where I want to get to, I got to stretch out for more. But now the new artists in Ottawa, I feel like that's their mentality. Like they know there's more out there. They're not content with just being like I guess Ottawa famous or whatnot. And even for you guys, like you guys gotta see it like that. You guys gotta compete with the Nardwars and shit.
Word.
You know
Shout
what I mean? Like for real.
Shout out Nardwar, but for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to him. But it's like that's what you guys gotta develop.
For real.
That's what's gonna bring, you know, the artists here up and stuff like that. And I would say, there's more media outlets now too. You know, like back then, people weren't really into that. It was more everyone wants to be
Club and Hot 97.
Yeah. And especially in Ottawa, it was people just wanted to rap, maybe promote shows, and that was about it.
Where do you see it going, like the Ottawa rap scene?
Man, it's definitely growing. I definitely think. Like I always tell people, I see like Toronto as like LA and like Ottawa as like the Bay Area, you know, like, you know, San Francisco, Oakland, you know. So I definitely think it's getting there. There's some collectives in the city that are helping make that happen. Shout out to Gelato and 48. They're collectives in the city that helping to make the city cool, you know, like, you know, make, you know, allow people to come through. Exactly. Like, you know, throwing parties that like are fun and stuff like that. So it's definitely getting there. And even with the space, or can I speak about the space, or you have a question for it?
Oh yeah.
My next question was gonna be, what are you doing to advance it? So fuck yeah, go. I asked it, now go.
And that's my contribution to the scene is the space.
That's hype, man.
I wanted it to be like a creative space where people could come through
the Ottawa community
and create exactly, you know, and where people could come and we push each other to do better. Also, it's like my plan for this is, you know, I spoke to a lot of people in the States and Toronto, and to have them come here, do seminars,
That's sick, man.
You know,
Spread
do
the knowledge.
exactly, you know. So I think that's why coming back to Ottawa is, I feel was a good move for me, is because now I could, you know, share the information.
That's on some OG shit.
You know what I'm saying?
For real,
man.
dog.
So
get the knowledge and come back and
bring
teach,
it back.
dog.
Exactly, man. So
can't be keeping that shit to yourself.
yeah, exactly, man.
Sir. He's giving us so much this. Yeah, dude, bro. You're talking, man. You like stop. I'm like, shit. Question. Fuck, where are we? So we're sitting in your studio now, your collective studio, like you've just said, coming back and spreading your knowledge to everyone else here and just helping each other lift each other up. How do you measure your success though? Obviously 10 years ago you were measuring your success in very different ways.
For sure.
How has that changed, and how do you measure your success now?
And for me, I always saw my success being that I'm in a place where I could offer other individuals jobs. Like once I'm able to do that, I'm happy, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, like I'm happy. If like Grammys and all that stuff come with it, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what's gonna, like, a Grammy or any of that is not what's gonna make me like feel like I'm successful. If I could offer people jobs and stuff like that, I'm good.
Fucking City Fidelia, man of the people, bro. I'm loving it.
Man.
Explain the name City Fidelia. It's got to be bigger than just a name. Like you were just saying, like the whole idea that is City Fidelia.
Fidelia's your last name.
My last name,
Luigi Fidelia.
Yeah.
Explain to me that name and just what it means.
So it started when I was a kid. My next door neighbor loved going, like, he had a cottage, and so he would always ask me to go, but like I was too busy. Like I love playing ball in the neighborhood, you know. Man. So I was like,
I like doing hood rat shit with my friends.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So he's like, "Oh, you're such a city boy." So I ran with City Boy for a bit, and then my boy Nilly Noy, the guy I was telling you guys about, he was like, you know, if you go on Google and type City Boy, you're gonna see a whole bunch of things. And then he's like, you know, you should use like your last name or something. And my last name stands for like loyalty, so it made sense for me. It was like loyal to the city, you know what I'm saying?
And here you are bringing
man.
This fucking guy, man. This fucking guy. How can you hate this? You can't. Fuck.
If you're against City Fidelia, you're against the people, bro. Like,
and you're definitely against Down the Beat, and we'll fucking find you and we will hunt you down. All right, I got a couple just miscellaneous questions that I couldn't fit in anywhere else.
Touring.
Touring. You've done shows in Asia, Europe, all over North America, I imagine. Yeah. How do you like touring? The idea of touring?
I love it. It's like, because for me, it's like before this music thing, I knew that I would never see another country unless this music thing happened. Just because like all my money went to music and I didn't have money to travel. So it's nice to be able to see like different countries and cities and stuff like that.
Were those tours on your own, or were those?
Some of them were on my own. That, like, you know, I put on my own money and it was just like, wow, I'm a girl.
Heavy.
Some of them were booked. Two big shows this year got canceled on me. I'm like, fuck. And those are like two that I've been wanting to get on. There was Rolling Loud. That guy.
And Metro.
Yeah, man.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to be at Metro, bro.
Yeah,
next one, bro. Next one.
Yeah,
that's over.
Yeah, you know, and that's why I tell people, because when Rolling Loud got canceled because of the protests and shit, I told, like, people ask me, "Are you feeling down?" I was like, "Nah, like, you know, if I can't see myself making this shit happen again, then I might as well just quit, you know."
Straight up, man.
So I'm like, it's gonna happen again.
That's the whole fucking point.
Exactly. So then Metro happened. Wow. So I was like, all right, you know, I did it again. And then that shit got canceled again. So I guess the pressure's on to make it happen again. Make sure it's a regular thing, you know.
I got faith.
Yeah, man.
You've opened for a lot of major rap artists too.
Yeah.
Explain that. How do you like that?
I would say my favorite one was Hobson, because I actually he's a cool guy. I went to like his change room and we actually like had a conversation and shit.
That's dope.
But
most of the time you're just in your green room there and there. So you don't really get to see him or anything.
I don't really get to see the individuals, but IDK was a dope guy too. I spoke to him. He's chill. I'm trying to think of other people.
Where do you do most of your opening? Like, where have those sets kind of been? Like scattered or through Ottawa?
Yeah, scattered. A lot of them at the beginning were Ottawa. But my first opening was in Montreal for Mac Miller, actually.
Wow.
So
when was that?
This was 2011.
Crazy.
2011. So I met him.
Time to be seeing
Yeah,
Mac
I met him twice. I met him in Montreal. He was a cool cat. He was with this guy named his manager Quincy.
Yeah.
Quentin or Quincy, I forgot. And then the second time is when he was headlining at Algonquin.
Oh shit.
And
that makes sense.
Bobby Brugal is close friends with his manager.
What?
So they got us tickets. So his manager got us tickets to go. And they brought us backstage or whatnot. Because Bobby Brugal is originally from Pittsburgh.
Oh, and that's where Mac's from.
Yeah. So he went to high school, I think, with Mac's manager. What? So that's how.
Small world, man.
Yeah,
small
Rest
world
in peace, Mac
indeed.
Miller.
Definitely
As well. And then just two last ones, collaborations. You like you're not shy to collab with people, right?
Yeah, I'm open. Yeah.
Explain that process. Do you like it?
I love it. Like one of the like the person I would say I collaborate the most at this moment is Andrew Waynes. But I love collaborating, and I think like moving forward, like I felt with like Painkiller, I was able to show like, I can make music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think I'm in a space in my life where you just, similar to Kanye, just collaborate with people, have dope artists in the room, and just make a song.
Make
you know what I mean?
music.
Like
that's dope. And then when people want to hear you, they just fall back to Painkiller, man.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it is.
And any inspirations? All your inspirations. Who are your inspirations? Doesn't need to be just music either. It comes from anything. Right?
I would say my collective that we spoke about. My big homie K9. He's one of my mentors, and it's a big thing. It's a really important thing to have mentors in your life, and for me, that's why I'm not in a place where I'm like, oh, like I need to meet. Like I would love to meet Jay-Z and all these people. I would love to, but like I'm content with the mentor I have right now. He's like my Jay-Z, my whole, even if he's not in music, but he understands life. Yeah, exactly. So him, family.
And musically, where are your inspirations?
Yeah, man. Cole, Kendrick.
Man, I was gonna say I got a lot of J. Cole vibes in your music. I like it when you sing. It sounds a bit like the Cole. Like you can mix it up to like still sounding like you, but then I'm like, oh shit, that's like.
Do you like singing?
Yeah.
That irky J. Cole's voice.
Yeah, the raspy shit.
Yeah.
Do you like singing?
Me, yeah. Like I started singing before rapping.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys know 106 in Park. Like it was like a show on BT.
Oh shit.
And every Friday they would have like a freestyle battle, and each contestant had like 30 seconds to like roast each other basically. And so when I got to junior high school, like it was a big thing. So I started freestyle battling. Like that was the thing. And that's how I got into rap. It's later in my life I got back to singing and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you can freestyle. I'm joking. I play. Under the spot.
After I seen like, Sharon do his thing, I'm like, I'm not a freestyle. Like that's a freestyler.
Word.
Alrighty. And just before we wrap it up, man, any last shout outs?
Man, shout out to the whole city, Ottawa. Shout out to y'all, down to the beat.
Hey, love.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Corona.
Hey.
I'm joking.
Because this man looks what are you doing this year before we
this year
wrap it up? Yeah. What can we expect by the end of 2020 from you?
I'm working on the Painkiller Deluxe right now. Working on that. Don't know when I'm gonna release it yet, but that's being worked on. And I've been knocking down a lot of features for people. So y'all hear that. And then pretty much start this place, man. Get this going.
Get the reach.
Yeah.
Reaching out. Anything else you want to add?
Like a little plug in. If y'all don't know where to find this homie, y'all sleeping on all music platforms, City Fidelia, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify, you name it, man.
Tell them.
Find it, yo. Find it.
And like we said, if you don't, we will hunt you down.
Tell them. Talk that talk.
For real, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Where can we find you? on Instagram.
Instagram, everything City Fidelia.
Beautiful.
City
right.
Fidelia.
Thank you very much, man. It's been awesome.
Thank you, man.
Guys, man. Peace out.
Get down, stay down. To the down, to the down, to the beat.